This is how to get tone. What does it mean to get tone? When most women talk about getting tone, they mean they want visible muscle definition with little fat covering it up, resulting in sculpted arms, legs, abs, and back. This requires a twofold process. One, you need to develop the size of muscle cells to provide shape, and two, you need to reduce any excess body fat that is covering up the muscle. Unfortunately, women often get sidetracked from these goals due to a widespread misconception, such as the faulty belief that women will automatically get bulky if they increase muscle, or that toning can be achieved with special, completely bizarre exercises or high rep, super lightweight lifting. I'm going to give you 10 best body composition tips that can help you get the lean, toned body you want. 2. Do compound lifts. Best results will come from training the multi-joint compound lifts that use the largest muscles in the body, including exercises like squats, lunges, deadlifts, step up, bench press and overhead, rows, and pull-ups or chin-ups. Alternate between upper and lower body using the agonist or antagonist, meaning you do a bench press and then followed by the rows, in order to reduce rest periods and get the most out of your training time. 3. Include heavy load training. By heavy, we mean weights that are between 65 and 80% of the maximal amount you can lift. This correlates to reps ranging from 8 to 15%. For example, if you can squat 100 pounds one time, then you need to use a weight that is at least 65 pounds when doing squats for reps. 4. Plan your training in 4 to 6 week phases. Once you put in some time and learn proper lifting technique, don't be scared to go even heavier than 80%. When you overload your body by lifting heavier weights you're not accustomed to, it causes changes that safeguard your body from injury, fat gain, and muscle loss. The catch is that you only get these adaptations in the muscle fibers that get trained, and the only way to get the highest threshold, strongest fibers, is to lift weights that are near the maximal amount you can lift. Number 7, go high in protein. A lot of mainstream sports nutritionists focus on carbs for fueling exercise, but protein is actually more important when your goal is leaning up and increasing muscle. First, it blunts hunger and helps you manage your appetite, while you also reducing insulin, so that it's easier to create an energy deficit and burn body fat. Second, protein consumption stimulates the body to repair tissue and increases muscle cell size. Finally, there is evidence that the body doesn't process protein calories in the same way as calories from fat or carbs. Of course, the burning question is how much protein should you eat? A baseline intake of 1.6 grams per pound is indicated by research. Whether you should go higher will depend on dietary preferences, genetics, and training. But it's reasonable to try progressively increasing protein if you're not seeing changes in your body. Number 6, avoid severe calorie restriction. Everyone knows that in order to lose fat, you have to create an energy deficit. However, the body responds quickly and unforgivingly when you slash calories below your resting metabolic rate, conserving calories by slowing your metabolic in an effort to preserve fat stores. However, the opposite occurs when your calories are abundant. In this case, you experience an increase in metabolic rate and you have a tendency to be more active. This means if you want to get an estimate of your resting metabolic rate and then bump that number up to cover energy burned in physical activity and possibly energy burned during workouts. 5. Train intervals. Sprint intervals work wonders on body composition by stimulating muscle and reducing excess body fat because they raise your 24-hour metabolic rate due to a killer afterburn. They also increase hormones and enzymes involved in fat burning. Number 8. Time your carbs. You know it's important to radically reduce refined carbs such as bread, cereal, etc. from your diet in favor of healthy carbs like vegetables, fruit, and whole grains. But it's also smart to eat your carbs at the most opportune times. For example, having carbs post-workout rather than at breakfast means they are more likely to be stored as fuel in muscle tissue called glycogen than as body fat. Dinner is another key time for healthy carbs because they will increase the release of calming, satisfying neurotransmitters like serotonin so you can unwind and get a restful sleep. Finally, it's useful to cycle carbs. I do some of my clients, sometimes getting a higher carb intake on training days and eating fewer on off or lower volume days. 9. Eat healthy fat. Low-fat diets cause a lot of trouble for women when women avoid dietary fat. They often experience hormones imbalances because the body uses the cholesterol provided in fat to manufacture hormones. Adequate androgen hormones like testosterone and estrogen are necessary for muscle recovery, and they also play a role in metabolic rate and fat burning. Meanwhile, balanced cortisol, another hormone made from cholesterol, is key from stress management and fat reduction around the waistline. Number 10, cope with stress and get your Z's. Both lack of sleep and stress reduce cortisol, which leads to fat storage, muscle breakdown, and increased hunger cues to the brain. You've got to find a way to get at least 8 hours of sleep at night. Coping with stress will pay off by improving sleep so you fully recover each day and by making your daily reality a more productive, pleasurable experience. If you want to learn more, DM me the word Forever Fit. Ciao.